I want to remind us that over the years, faith is one of the qualities that built La Verne, from Lordsburg College to the University of La Verne. There wasn't a single budget adopted in my 20 years that wasn't adopted in faith. It's faith, really, that is the root and the culmination of all of the other virtues that make life worthwhile at a place like this. And I would remind us, as it says in the biblical scripture from James, that faith without works is lifeless. And that's what we're all about here. Works, of course, come in various colors and in various shapes and in various forms. It means for students, they're here to work to become themselves, to become somebody. Faculty members help them do that. Donors, trustees, alumni, the community have to support with money. This is one bringing together of the efforts of all that constitute the family. Faith becoming works and reality. It was in the winter of 1947-48 that I first heard about the coming vacancy here at La Verne College, that Dr. Davis had retired. My brother, who's a missionary in India, has relatives here in La Verne, and he had heard of it, and he wrote me telling me that there was a vacancy. Why don't you apply? I did, and of course, as you know, I came in the summer of 1948 as the new president of La Verne College. I left a position that was a very nice one as Dean of Administration of a small college in Denver. Came here to find only 3 permanent buildings, Miller Hall, Founders Hall, and the old gymnasium, and a vacant block that was overgrown with wild oats and weeds. Founders Hall and Miller Hall were very good, well-constructed buildings. This block, the block on which the chapel and the dormitories are now located, and the library, now the law school, was a wild oats field, just grass and weeds. The campus itself was unkempt. The football bleachers and fields were, the athletic fields were almost non-existent. I wondered why I had left the good job I had to come. But the thing that drew me here was something of a spirit of the loyalty and interest of alumni and a few trustees that interviewed me, and what seemed to be a real opportunity to do something as an administrator in higher education. I had met some alumni who were enthusiastic. The Board of Trustees whom I interviewed were enthusiastic and eager to work together. I had been in an institution that was not Church of the Brethren, and here was an opportunity to put all of my effort into the Church of the Brethren activities, and this appealed to me. I could see that there was a lot of work ahead to be done, but I found also eager faculty, and the students I met were the kind I wanted to work with.
Well, Harold's a good prospective student. Do you think you can convince him to come?
I think he's in. He's got it, and boy, he's a good shot kid. The impact of these 20 years on me personally would be difficult to explain, what it's meant to my wife and me and to our family. You don't measure that kind of thing in dollars, and you don't measure that kind of thing in years, but in terms of impact on one's self, the opportunity to help to direct an institution, to grow and to become something, to feel that it's needed in the church, and watch that fruit develop in the community. That was something great. We acquired land over the years adjacent to campus. We built in my 20 years 9 major building projects. Everything on campus now that has brick construction was built during my administration. Woody Hall, the men's dormitory for many years and now an administrative building, was under construction when I came. So I don't put any credit on my administration for that building. But there were 9 major building projects while I was president. All of them are identified as solid brick construction. There was the library first, the tower, which is now the law school, Studebaker Hall, Hannah Walt Hall, the dining room, dining hall, cafeteria, the Brandt Hall, men's dormitory, this chapel, the new addition to the gymnasium, an addition to the dining hall then, and an addition to the library. It's something that I didn't do, but that a community of us together did. The faculty, the trustees, the alumni, and those who worked, the church, those who worked with us. It's been a great 20 years. That was an era from 1948 on through my years. That was an era that we call the era of the ascendancy of higher education. People were responding to the call of private colleges and universities. It was the thing to do to go to college. Students were not easy to find because there was all kinds of competition. But even students knew that they had to go to college. So enrollments could increase. And there were, it was the time when people recognized this is the era of higher education. So it was a great thrill to be a part of that. And the rewards of those years can never be written down. I think the longevity of La Verne is probably due to several things. I think its heritage is significant. Its heritage in the Church of the Brethren, built by men originally of the Church of the Brethren. And the Church of the Brethren has stood for service to humanity. And that service is as desperately needed, will be in 1991 as it was in 1891 or in 1948 when I came. It's also important as the institution does look toward a centennial. It's important because of its Judeo-Christian tradition. The tradition which is to say that within that tradition, values can be personified. Values that are spiritual and mental and social over and above what dollars or buildings count. You know, in the final analysis, a person is a person over and above his brain and his bones and muscle. The person is a spirit. The person is something that you don't define. And I think this institution has stood for that throughout the nearly 100 years of its life. That to me is the La Verne College, the University of La Verne. I think La Verne will keep its place in the society. And assuming there's going to be a Society of Southern California in 2091, La Verne will be here. I think everybody needs to know that in building a college, a campus, an ideal like this, that there's an awful lot of dedication went into it. Not of mine alone, but faculty and students and trustees and alumni and community. I don't like to raise money. I didn't when I was president. I was terribly intent upon building the kind of thing here and inviting people to join me in building this, to which people would give. They'd find here a kind of ideal that they could support. And those ideals are the ones which make up the spiritual qualities of this institution. That's what education is all about to me. It's bringing all of life to bear on one goal that you think is terribly important.